Yes.
To hear about the coolest, the most amazing, the most fantastical, and the strongest bird, relative to size, in the world?
Sure.
The hummingbird! Welcome to our program today. We are part of the Hummingbird Fan Club, specifically the Ruby-throated Hummingbird Fan Club. My name is Sarah. I am the president of this organization.
My name's Emily. I'm head of PR.
My name is Brennan, and I'm the treasurer.
And we're here today to take you through the journey and the wonderful life of a ruby-throated hummingbird. They go through so much. They go through
The trials and tribulations associated with life.
The hard trials of finding love.
and the impressive feat of building a home, raising young, and just existing. This journey starts with, well, a journey. Brennan?
Yes. So, since our winters are very cold and our temperatures as of late have resembled a cosine graph, a lot of animals have to migrate. So, we're going to play a little game called Pin the Migratory Animal on the Map. So if I could have 6 volunteers come up, take one of these papers and a magnet for this place where you think it goes. I personally think these guys go to Bermuda for the winter. I suggest you don't do that. But that's what you will do. So come on up.
Any volunteers?
That's right.
All right, Morgan.
You got a wonderful prize of pride.
Yeah, go right up.
No need to raise your hand. Just we don't bite.
This area. Though they might go down to Costa Rica because they're in Costa Rica. They're in Costa Rica. We don't know much about the migration pattern, so what we do know is that it is definitely.
Or a pendulum. That's what it is.
Oh, we saw those guys in Costa
Yeah,
Rica.
yeah,
They were
yeah.
so funny.
Did you see Quetzal?
Yes, we saw kids.
Do you think that one's from Wisconsin? Or comes from another area that flies out there? So, hey, would you like to come on up with
I got a chickadee, Canada goose, our friend the ruby-throated hummingbird, and a butterfly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which tree, guys?
Ruby-throated in Arizona. You're going to do a great job.
Can you see it?
That's Mexico. Okay, just making sure. That's Texas, and then that's something. Do you think they come from up top, or down
They're a
here?
little short to reach up top.
Or if you
Let's
can't
see.
reach
They
it,
just
we can
come
help
out
you
the
out.
person in the tree.
That's it.
Right here? Yeah.
Nice big sister.
Right here? Or here?
They asked where they migrate to, right?
Or
Okay, I wanted to make sure I answered the question.
right there? Okay. You guys did a fantastic job. All right, let's give a round of applause for our volunteers.
So these are all amazing guesses, so let's find out the answers. Emily?
Oh,
So you guys saw right through my trick of the black-capped chickadee. These guys do not migrate. They are very common here in winter. Robins do migrate. They are, of course, a sign of spring. Not sound spring, that's our spring hikes theme. Hint, hint, wink, wink, May 3rd. Hoary bats, one of the bats here that do migrate. Some of them do stay to winter, but these guys migrate down south, Mexico, Costa Rica. Monarchs, of course, they go to Mexico. Yeah, the geese also down south. And ruby-throated hummingbirds anywhere from this general area all the way down here. They will migrate about 2,500 miles, give or take. That over the course of 2 weeks. And that includes a 500 to 600 mile nonstop trek across the Gulf of Mexico.
Woo! Good for them.
Yeah, so, with all that migration, they have to fly somehow. So, how they fly is simple. They do their wings in a figure eight, just like this. Now, why would they do that? Who here likes swimming? Good. Swimming is fun. How many of you know how to do breaststroke? Yeah. So breaststroke, of course, starts up here, down, back up, which is similar to the figure eight. Go like this, and then this. And then they turn their wings so that they don't generate unnecessary thrust. Just like the breaststroke. Go down to generate thrust and propel you forward, and then back up as straight as you can so that you don't go forward or backwards. This figure eight motion allows them to move in all 6 degrees of freedom, forward, backwards, sideways, up, down, and roll, pitch, and yaw. With all of that comes a high metabolism. When I was running around, I clocked my heart rate at about 407 beats per minute.
What?
Wait, this watch is analog. That also happens to be a low end of the ruby-throated hummingbird's heart rate. They go from about 400, 500 beats per minute, all the way up to 1,200 beats per minute. That's along with their body temperature of 100 degrees to 108 degrees normally. Means that they will die of hypothermia if they go like 20 minutes without eating, unless they plan for it, like when they're going across the Gulf of Mexico. To sleep, because everybody likes to sleep, they have to go into a state called torpor. Torpor is a quasi-hibernative state where you lower your metabolism down. For hummingbirds, they lower their heart rates down to 50 beats per minute, and their body temperature down to 38 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, of course, you have to eat in order to move. So how many calories do you think hummingbirds eat in a day?
Any guesses?
20,000.
20,000.
Do I hear more or less? More or less, 20,000.
More.
More.
10,000.
10,000, that's less, but
Less.
who's counting?
Less.
I would suggest going way down.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to say 2.
Several orders of magnitude. 642, that is very close, relatively speaking. 500, getting there. 7 calories.
7.
7 calories, which is about as many calories as are in a grape. One single grape.
1 grape.
Or hypothetically, 1 teaspoon of the nectar, which is how much they drink in a day. Now, to be fair to you guys, they do eat a lot. If we scale that up to a human, that would be about 150,000 calories, which on a standard 2,000 calorie diet would be 75 days worth of food, or 3,500 chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets. 3,500.
Now those flowers, they have to be special. Hummingbirds like very particular flowers that include cardinal flowers, wild columbine, bee balm, and other flowers that are tubular in shape and brightly colored. Yeah, go ahead and show them.
Alright, this is a photo of wild columbine.
That's not wild.
Well,
Wait,
That is.
Wait, that is, never mind. I was thinking of cardinal flowers. I was thinking of cardinal flowers, okay?
How dare you question Dr. Lyons?
You said cardinal flowers in my brain.
If any of you went to Tree Haven as part of UWSP, you might recognize this as part of the plant list. Some very pretty flowers, as you were saying.
Yes.
Nice red.
So now that we've gathered all the calories necessary, why don't we make some more hummingbirds?
I think this is where I come in. So, once our hummingbird has a full stomach, it's time for our little hummingbird's next trial, finding love.
Oh.
Now, the hummingbird has the largest heart of any bird, roughly 2% of its whole body weight. For context, on a human, that's roughly the size of our brains. But that big heart wasn't meant to hum through life alone. Rather, once they come back up to Wisconsin, their goal is to find their special someone. However, their biggest obstacle? It's not their predators, such as animals like hawks, frogs, or even some dragonflies.
What?
Rather, their biggest obstacle? Other male hummingbirds. Now, the hummingbirds, males will tend to migrate a week or two before the females in order to stake out their territory, to get the best spot to try and find love. And in order to make sure that they have no other competition, they will do behaviors such as yelling at each other or using their special long beaks, which are used to get those flowers such as columbine, and use those special beaks to poke other male hummingbirds in a little bit of competition. Now we got a video here to show you what that looks like. If it loads. This was taken from someone's backyard, I'm pretty sure. Oh, so sorry.
this is a mortal battle right now. These guys are, it's dramatic.
They hate each other more than Bears and Packers fans.
All right. As you can see, these guys are pretty brutal in terms of trying to compete with each other to find the best spot. Now, I think it's time for a little bit of competition. If we have anyone who'd like to pretend to be a male hummingbird, I have right behind us, we have our super long hummingbird noses, and we happen to have a pair of them. Do I have any volunteers who would like to come up and try and be a male hummingbird? Let's see here, I need 2 volunteers.
Right, kind of go like each other.
Would you like to come?
Oh, gee, could I?
Yeah, of course. Don't be ashamed to be selfish, guys.
Here,
Come
if you'd like to
joust.
come on up.
Oh, my pleasure.
And then I need 1 more volunteer. Let's see. Would you like to try? I could help. Okay. All right, now you guys are going to be competing against one another.
What are
Now,
we doing?
that is a really good question. So first, we need to set the stage. We're going to have you guys take a few steps back from each other to make some distance, and then I can see you're already putting your wonderful beak right in front of you. And your goal is to try and poke the other person with your hummingbird beak.
Poke the other person. Well,
I'm already out of territory.
No assaulting the refs.
goodness, this is difficult.
Oh, we have some strong competitive hummingbirds here. All right, thank you so much. For our victorious hummingbird, I have a small gift for you. Here we have a little red string that is connecting two hummingbirds together. We'll get to use that a little bit later. Yeah. Now, once our hummingbird has staked out its perfect spot, the lighting is right, everything is just perfect. Now comes the hard part, actually getting the female hummingbird's attention. Because these hummingbirds have really, really high standards. So a male hummingbird has to do his best to try and be impressive. He'll do behaviors such as singing, showing off his wonderful feathers, such as his signature red throat, also known as a gorget. But most importantly, he has to dance.
Oh, dance.
Most important part.
Twist the
Yes.
nose out.
I think I'm gonna have you as a volunteer for this one.
Okay.
All right. So the male hummingbird does a really, really simple dance. I like to call it the swoop and slide. You guys are free to join along if you'd like, otherwise feel free to sit down. So basically, you swoop, and then you slide, swoop, and slide, and oh, perfect.
Join us, join us, join us.
Oh, wonderful.
And slide. Swoop and slide.
Now, if the female hummingbird thinks that the male's dancing is the grooviest thing around, then the female will decide that this male is her special someone. And then a couple of weeks later, out will pop two itty bitty white eggs. Now, with these eggs that are roughly the size of a Tic Tac, incredibly tiny, even when love wins against all odds, what's going to happen to those itty bitty Tic Tac eggs? Sarah, I think this is where your part comes in.
I think now anytime you guys think Tic Tac, you should think about hummingbird eggs. So, in order to raise those eggs, a female hummingbird has to, well, what do birds do to raise their eggs?
Sit on.
Sit on them. Where do they sit on them? In a nest. The hummingbird has to build a nest. Has anyone seen a hummingbird nest before?
Nope.
Yeah, they're hard to find. They're usually really high up in the air. But if, let's say a ruby-throated hummingbird is about the weight of a nickel, how big do you think its nest is?
The one we had by our neighbors was about this big. It was underneath, it was by our house.
That's huge for a nest. Wow. You think about that big? A ruby-throated hummingbird nest is about this long, just a couple inches in diameter. Yeah. I have here to show you.
Ooh.
I'll pass it around, but first I'll explain how she makes it so you can get a picture in your mind. I'll be showing this to you. Unfortunately, I can't pass it around. This is like a 50-year-old specimen. But, so what they do is the female spends around 1 to 10 days building a nest. After she migrates and she's ready to lay her eggs, she'll look around her area. Hummingbirds have fantastic memories. So she'll try to find her old nest. If it's still there in good shape, she may repair it and use it, but otherwise she builds an entirely new nest if anything's wrong with it. She starts by picking off little tree buds. She finds a stick she likes, sometimes on top of wind chimes, or I've seen one even like on top of a peach in a tree. They just choose a nice high up spot that feels safe to them. They take those tree buds, they use pine sap to glue it to the branch so that it stays in place. And then they find little bits of ferns and dandelion seeds and thistles and small tiny plant materials, and they weave it all together with spider silk and caterpillar cocoon silk. Yeah, they find some really interesting materials to do it. I don't know necessarily how they manage to do it, but it's beautiful. It's one of the softest nets I could imagine. They put down in the middle so it's perfectly comfortable for their always two, tiny little eggs. And then to finish it off, you can see the little fuzz in the middle. To finish it off, they put on top of it lichen found on trees and mosses, try to camouflage it with the branch. I do have one
Oh
that's,
my goodness.
isn't it cute?
This is the one by us.
You see that
That's
nest?
so sweet. I love when they build them on like little decorations. Oh, I do have one on a branch, but like I said, these are old specimens, so I can't actually show it to you. Now they lay the eggs, and they incubate the eggs for about 1 to 2 weeks. After they incubate the eggs, she gets little baby hummingbirds that hatch. I wasn't able to find any pictures of like newly, freshly hatched hummingbirds. I assume they're super fragile, so they're not easy to study or take pictures of, but she raises them for about 20 days. And in order for those babies to become hummingbirds, they have to learn how to be hummingbirds. Does anyone know, we've talked about some really cool things about hummingbirds and what they do. Does anyone know any other really cool facts about hummingbirds? There's a lot of them. They are weird, fantastic birds.
The one I asked, and again, we're from here, but we live in Arizona during the winter, and they were taking pieces from our carpet. Our carpet that was outside, like the little rug, and they were taken, and they were long like this, and that they were using that to make the nest.
Oh.
We had like 10 or 12 different species, but this last year we only had a couple. And we have seen them fight. The two males fight, and we had one killed one.
Oh.
And they love our honeysuckle. They love the honeysuckle bush more than the nectar that I make for them. But I can't, you can look at this later, but this is what the hummingbird babies look like in the nest.
Oh, you have a picture?
Oh, I took them at, yeah.
I'm sorry, my curiosity.
Yeah, it doesn't look real good.
Oh.
But she's like 80-some years old, and I climbed up the ladder to take the picture. But she went up there when she wasn't supposed to, and she touched that nest, and the hummingbird never came back.
Oh.
So you can't touch them, those nests.
I imagine they put a lot of work into them, and they're really picky about them, apparently.
You know, as I sit outside and watch them all the time.
I don't blame
So I'm
you.
hoping they'll come here this year when we do.
Male hummingbirds do joust, and they do, unfortunately, sometimes the bites are fatal. Their beaks are sharp weapons, and they use them as if they are jousting against each other. So it is tragic. But they are still incredible birds, even though they have a tendency to do things like that. They live around 5 to 9 years. So they have a good memory. They live a surprisingly long time for how fantastic their metabolism is. And they do really weird things every once in a while. Has anyone seen like a dog coming after the rain? What does it do? It shakes.
Oh.
It shakes. Well, a hummingbird, when it's flying in the rain, which it can fly in the rain and fly backwards, unlike a lot of birds, it shakes its head to get the water off of it, except it shakes it 132 times a second. And 202 degrees around. Hummingbirds have 7 neck vertebrae instead of the regular, like 5.
We have 7.
We have 7.
Seven's the normal.
Yeah, we have 7. Giraffes have 7.
Compared to some birds, they have more than most birds. So they can turn their head. For reference, 360 degrees is all the way around, so it can go like that far. Insane. Hummingbirds are crazy. They do great work, but living as a hummingbird is difficult. The mother will have to teach the hummingbird the baby hummingbirds how to live, how they're supposed to, how to be a hummingbird, how to break the normal boundaries that a bird lives in. They do a lot just to survive, and like Brennan said, they have to eat every 20 minutes. So what we're going to do today is help a hummingbird out. We will be making hummingbird feeders.
Do we have one?
We're not going to.
That's okay.
We're
Well,
not.
we have little hummingbird feeders that you can make, and we're going to cut out little flowers so that they look like flowers for you. They're small, you can put them anywhere, but if not hummingbird feeders, they do eat flowers. And Brennan?
Yes. So, what you can do to help hummingbirds, the best thing you can do to help hummingbirds is plant native flowers. Now there are 2 things you need to know before you do that. Public enemy number 1, generic plant seed mix that are found at big box stores.
Ooh.
Boo, yes. I punt this, but then I would either miss or make a miss. So what I'll do instead is pass this around for you to examine. you'll see that there is a list of scientific names on there. I have a document that translates all those to normal people speak and where they are, but the TLDR is that only a few of those are native. Most of them come from Europe and Asia. They're actually introduced and have the possibility to become invasive. Now, what the difference between invasive and introduced is a topic for another time. But just know that natives and invasives tend to outcompete their native counterparts. And the other problem is common names suck with the plants. If you've had the displeasure of learning the tree and plant list, you might know this. So when you Google what flowers do hummingbirds like and you see columbine with no pictures, and you're at the wall of seeds, you'll see this. This says columbine, but on the back it doesn't say it doesn't have a scientific name, so who knows what columbine it should be. Now, I know this because, like I said, I had the displeasure of the learning tree and plant list. This is Achilja vulgaris. What you're actually looking for is what we talked about earlier, Achilja canadensis, or wild columbine. So, what I'm trying to get at is before you plant your seeds, do your research. What I recommend is going to a local nursery, Jung's Garden Center, which is across the street from Fleet Farm, has some amazing variety of the native plants. And of course, if you're not inclined, don't have space, yada yada yada, I won't berate you on that for not planting flowers. You can of course build a hummingbird feeder. But before we distract you with that, let's recap.
We went through the wonderful journey of a hummingbird's life. We appreciate you being here. Who remembers one cool fact about hummingbirds? Any cool? Yeah. They do like poking each other. That is a cool fact, even though they're just that big. Any other cool facts?
They can fly forward, backward, sideways, upside down. I mean, up and down.
Up and down, exactly. And like Brennan said, they use like a figure 8. That's how I tread water. I don't know about you guys, but I go like this when I tread water. So it's a perfect way to just hover.
I just touched around the pool, but
unfortunately, not all of us are blessed with height. Well, you guys were a wonderful audience. We're happy to have you as you learned through what all a hummingbird has to go through just to get here to Wisconsin. The Ruby-throated Hummingbird is our only native hummingbird, and we're always happy to see it, or at least I am. I used to think they were like big bees and they freaked me out, but I also didn't really know hummingbirds existed as a kid, so I'm glad to teach you guys more about hummingbirds so you do know they exist and not bees. But we have the materials for you here to build a hummingbird feeder. We will be passing it around. It is just a spice jar. You open the lid, and then on the inside there's a little bunch of holes where they can dip their little beak to drink them. Exactly, right? We have stencils for the flowers that go around the spice jar to attract the hummingbird and make it think that it's a flower. But we also have the materials if you'd like to draw your own flower and cut it out. As long as I like to do, I take off the lid and then I press this circle to the foam, and then I draw the flower around that circle and cut out the circle. That way you can slide the flower right on top. The string is a slip knot to go over where the threading is, and then you just put on the lid, and there you go. And we have instructions with the sugar cube inside on how to make the hummingbird food.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Do you have, because I haven't been here for a while, do you guys have trouble with woodpeckers trying to drink the nectar? Because we have them in Arizona with the Gila woodpecker, and the hummers go right after them. Is that the same thing here with the woodpecker going?
I've never
Do
seen
you know?
I know the Orioles really like hummingbird feeders
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, the Baltimore Orioles do that.
I don't know about the woodpeckers. And I know there's gonna be like little chickadees and little birds that'll go drink it, but the woodpeckers in Arizona, they're horrible. They'll be upside down and that beak is this long and I have to put so much in there and put sometimes like that in the water. But I didn't know about the woodpeckers here.
Hopefully the woodpeckers here, they should be a little big to be able to stand on this.
Well,
Hummingbirds,
that's a little one. I'm talking about getting
Oh.
a bigger one from the store. with
they definitely probably
Sorry about
couldn't
that.
do. I imagine it's used by a variety of animals, but it is making all those animals' lives easier, right? Hopefully, maybe. I don't know, that leaves the question, do bats take advantage of it? I know there's some pollinating bats.
Not any of the bats here, at
Yeah.
least.
Bats,
Not here.
not here? Okay. I saw you had a question over here.
Yeah, how soon will the hummingbirds show up here?
So I believe that hummingbirds show up here around the 1st to 2nd week of May, so relatively soon.
They can show up as early as like now.
Yeah, but it's cold.
Exactly. We chose this day because it's as close to them showing up as possible. We do have our hike on the 3rd, so this is one of the last spring events we have. But they will be showing up soon, so you'll have that to look forward to. Yeah.
How fast can hummingbirds fly? They seem like they go really fast.
Up to 32 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like they have to like eat every 20 minutes or they die. You mentioned also that they can like make their way across the like Gulf of Mexico and they can like prepare for it. How do they prepare for that?
Just a bit like how other animals prepare for hibernation, fat stores, or that kind of energy stores. They're very labor intensive to prepare. It's just easier to go into torpor every night instead of just doing that.
Do you know if they flap their wings different when they're flying far?
I do not.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to video them over the Gulf of Mexico.
I don't think we're entirely sure what they do, but I would imagine it's something similar to a lot of other birds where they just kind of find the right wind current and depend mostly on that. Any other questions we can answer? Yeah.
Do they see color, or I often see hummingbird feeders
Yeah.
are red?
If I recall correctly, they see similar colors to us. Unlike a lot of animals, we can see different spectrums of green so that we can find ripened fruit. That's the concept because we're primates. But hummingbirds need to find different colors of reds and purples and ultraviolet to find the correct flower.
Yep. So you'll see often in stores a lot of hummingbird feeders are going to be more towards like red or oranges. Those are colors that most often attract hummingbirds.
Orioles. Any animal that seeks nectar sees similar colors to a hummingbird.
As with any feeder, there's always going to be some form of competition. You're going to have a little less trouble with squirrels. But
Yeah.
I don't know, if I were a squirrel, I might go after that. Sugar water? That sounds pretty nice. Any other questions? Yeah.
Thank you for your supercalifragilisticexpialidocious presentation.
Thank you.
I'll start passing around materials. I also do have some seeds of wild columbine. If you want to take those, just feel free. Otherwise, I'm perfectly fine with taking them and planting them myself.
We'll be around if you have any questions or need anything. If you want to bring the materials home, you are welcome to. We will need a few minutes to print a few more templates. We are very happy to have you all, but we have not prepared quite enough for all of you, so we're just going to prepare those for you real quick. But like I said, we'll be here if you have any questions, and if you'd like to leave, you can take the materials with you. But thank you for coming.
you all have been a wonderful audience.
What's the flowers that
Seeds with wild columbine.
Oh, it'd be a tribute part.
Ride to Helmet.
Yes.
Fine.
Also, my Discord's not working.
If you want to email me, I can print it for you, if you have the ability. Otherwise, I was just going to get some notes and cut out of yours.
We'll let you keep some extras. We did have hummingbirds. Was it red?
So,
Would you like
are you ready to wait, so you do have art or you don't have red?
I don't.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I could try it.
I mean, I could probably drag you.
Yeah, this is very nice. Okay, yeah. Area.
In the back?
Then I'll come around with the balls in just a second.
I know Lisa just buys it after she doesn't eat sugar. And when we go to Lisa's house in a couple of weeks,